strapping you in. Ooh. Sorry to ruin your earbuds as soon as I've started. That's a great start. Hello. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your earbuds. I did not mean to break them like that. How is everybody? How is everyone doing? Hello. I've got the chat open. I've got you here. I've been excited to do this. Last Wednesday was missed. Things just ran over. I had no time. Unfortunately, that is going to happen. But the times that I'm here to serve you beautiful people with anything you may need some help, some advice on. Let's see if we can help you. Let's see if we can provide a bit of perspective that maybe you're missing. And yeah, that's basically what we do here. I'm just sorting everything out and I realise it's like, But I've got my mug, ADP. There's a little picture of me on the other side, created by the amazing George. George is a fantastic artist who has drawn us and plenty of other things, and he's doing his GCSE art very soon. So I thought I'd send him a hell of a good look and wish him all the best on that. I'm sure it's not going to be long now until you undertake the many hours of art exam. I remember mine very well. Art exams, if you don't know, especially at GCSE, mine lasted 10 hours. I believe George's is 12. It's a long time. You spend the whole year building up your portfolio, your coursework, and it all leads to you basically making this final piece that you create during these 10 hours or 12 hours. My piece I still have at my mum's house. We had a nautical theme, and mine was a mermaid sat on an anchor. But there's a huge problem in it, and there's a reason, because I really love it, and it makes me so happy. Hello there in the chat. Is that Baharin? Have I said that right? I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. I'm terrible at names, but hello nonetheless. There's a huge problem in the painting, unfortunately, where north, east, south, and west are not in the correct place. And someone should have piped up about then that I had ADHD. Hello, everybody. Give me fresh coffee, please. That's what I run on. That is my fuel. I'm good, thank you. How is everyone else doing? Sup, fam? Sup, Dwight? How are you doing? How are you doing, guys? Let me know. This is what we're here for. Hi, you've got 2 bits of metal stuck to your chin, just letting you know. What would I do without you? Oh my word, I had no idea. Thank God you told me. See more butts. You're just a joker, right? Where are you from? I am from the UK. More specifically, right in the middle. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing this fine morning? I'm quite well, although it is officially afternoon here. Where are you commenting from? It must still be morning for you. And we've got Dubai in the chat. Nice to meet you. Wow. What is Dubai like this time of year? Is it boring? I'm from Malay. I don't know where that is. Whereabouts is that? I'm so culturally and geographically inept. Ah, bonjour from France. Bonjour. Salut. Ça va? Comment tu t'appelles? Have I had a poo today? Wouldn't you like to know? See more butts. I know that's what your business is. Stay tuned and I may reveal at the end. Questions. Are you a registered therapist? So in terms of register, what are you asking? In terms of accreditation, I'm currently still working towards it. In terms of qualified, as in I've got my degree, I've undertaken at least 500 hours of counselling within the year and multiple accounts of CPD, critical personal development, to make sure that the things that I originally learned are updated. I hope that answers the question for you. I would love to be accredited. Unfortunately, I just don't have the money. It's a very expensive course and one that you have to volunteer alongside of to dedicate a lot of your time. Oh, I love you too. Comment allez-vous? What do you say? Allez-vous? Again, my French terrible. The bits that I gave you, unfortunately. Maybe quelle de ton anniversaire? I don't think I said that right either. Give me an Oreo. I'd love an Oreo. Someone please send Oreos. I can loan you all the money you need, but it's Monopoly money only. Do you know what? The way that a lot of counsellors are getting their courses right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using Monopoly money themselves. It's been I am from the UK, right in the middle, a place called Leicestershire. There's been a lot of talk recently about self-help books. Are they helpful? Are they just ways of making you a little more self-obsessed with yourself? And I suppose there's loads of things to cover. Who is it written by? Is it by someone who just wants to make money selling a book? Who knows? Isn't it from OnlyFans? Do you know what? I've considered it. I've considered it many times. It's just an easy way for women to make money, isn't it? And men. Do you know what? Go and get your dough. We're neighbours. We just have a little river between us, 100%. Unfortunately, I swear that river there was a river. The channel was, there was a bomb found, wasn't there? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word. An explosive World War II device that hadn't yet gone off was found on the channel, I believe. So the Eurostar was cancelled, and it was a right nightmare apparently. So that was one day again. We'll travel across to you. I'd love to go to France. I've actually never been, and I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Where are some nice places to go in France? My partner loves fishing. So if you could catch a big carp somewhere, he'd be very happy. If I could just be in the sun, I'd be happy. But yeah, realistically, nobody wants me to have an OnlyFans. Let me just put that out there. My therapy skills are way more useful to you. There are plenty of beautiful OnlyFans models that you can already get your kicks from. Can you sing Dark Side creator Alan Walker's? Do you know what? If I knew how to sing that song, I would. Sure. Would love to golf in France. That's great, I'm sure. Let's do a group trip, a group Untangled trip. We can all just go and do our separate things once we're in France, but France going crazy this time. It's the cities mostly, only outside towns are still cool. Okay, fantastic. I feel like a nice quaint area would be really good. Whereabouts in France are you? Are you south of France, north, more Paris area? Whereabouts? Obviously don't give your location too specifically. I want you to stay safe. Yeah, I'd love to go to France. I should probably get better at the language. I don't know if you're the same as me, but when you go to another country, it's way easier to get into the language and to learn another language. And then you come home and you just forget it all because you don't use it. Crazy. The things that we actually really try and learn, and they do seem to stick. I do private therapy sessions, yes. You can access them via our website, adifferenthumandesign.co.uk. You can access private sessions from Lindsay and from myself. We offer two very different schools of thought, but ones that can also be used really well together. So there's also the option to speak with both of us. Lindsay's background is she is a special needs teacher. So she generally teaches kids that are like 14 to, it's GCSE age, but around your middle teenage years. Any kids that didn't quite make it in mainstream school, Lindsay gets them. And Lindsay shapes them up because she's very relatable, she's very down to earth. The kids see her as one of them. But she's also really good at knowing her stuff. She's a fantastic writer, really good at literacy, at most creative outlets, to be honest, but she's also very spiritual. Whereas I come from a straight evidence-based therapeutic background. I still use techniques that are expressive, that are creative. I use art therapy, we analyze dreams. There's a load of creative things in there, but all these things are backed up by evidence. I'm not saying mine's better. Never would I dream of saying that. As I say, it's two different schools of thought that often work quite well together, because oftentimes we're just describing the same thing, but in different terms. But I know some people can get a bit disillusioned by one and would prefer a bit more than the other. Yeah. Paris, it's a shame now, it's a giant dump. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Most of the big cities too, there's a few still cities that who are clean. I think, yeah, you might find that throughout the, I was going to say the world, Europe for definite. For me, London is somewhere that I can only go to very momentarily. Even Leicester, the city that is nearest to me, I live in the middle of Leicester, Nottingham, if you've heard of Robin Hood, you'll know of Nottingham, and Derby. And all these cities are great for a small amount of time for me, and then I need to get back to countryside. Places like Montpellier. Oh, Montpellier, I know what's named after that. The one thing that annoys me every time my partner goes to France, he never brings me back champagne. And the region he goes to literally is Champagne. So if you'd like to send me some champagne, no, please don't, save your money. You're from Montpellier. Oh, very good. Am I saying that right? I try and get my French accent as well as I can. But I feel a bit of a div when I do it. I'm often told, actually, that French people don't like you getting it wrong, but you seem like a really friendly person that wouldn't judge me for that, which is nice. So what do we talk about today? Has anyone got any advice they might need? Any help for anything? Does anyone have any self-help books that they read that actually really helped them? Is any that they read were actually terrible? You thought, why did I buy this? Can I have my money back, please? I'm from Leicester in the UK. So if you were to put a cross from the top to the bottom, from the middle, west to east, we're pretty much bang on in the centre. It's really the furthest place to sea or any kind of shore. Leicester, yeah, well done. Great spelling too. It's I know the Americans struggle with the Leicester. Leicester. Google every shot counts. You know what? I will. Let's have a look. Every shot counts. I've never heard of it. And there's an audiobook, which I love. It's hard for you, French, to say that city. I imagine it is. Les deux. That's just insulting, isn't it? I won't even try. So every shot counts. How do I find the blurb? Columbia Business School professor Mark Brody's paradigm shifting approach that uses statistics and golf analytics to transform the game. I should have known. I just should have known. Mark Brody is at the forefront of a revolutionary new approach of the game to the game of golf. What does it take to drop 10 strokes from your golf score? Okay. I'm laughing because, of course, you've recommended this book. Of course, you've told me to Google this book. But I'm also laughing because you are actually bang on in terms of the most applicable real-world situation books that you can get help from is from someone in a profession that talks about psychology, that isn't a psychologist, that isn't their primary job. So from a different professional, their psychological self-help books are fantastic. If you want to learn about how to make decisions really quickly in the moment, then a self-help book from a fighter pilot would be fantastic. One that I often talk about, if you're trying to work out if someone's deceiving you, if someone's manipulating you, then a psychological book written by a magician. Fantastic. You can learn about, putting yourself in the audience and how to get yourself out of it and how to walk the parameter of the trick to work out what's happening. There's a load of things. So I actually 100% believe you when you say it's a good book. I'm sure it's got loads of real world, like I said, applicable moments. Big fan of Tony Robbins. Do you know what? Can't fault the man. I remember my dad had a book of his, and it made me laugh because I swear he was reading it for so long. I didn't realise at the time that my dad's dyslexic. And my friend does a really good Tony Robbins impression. He's got quite the voice, hasn't he? But yeah, he's built a huge empire on self-development through business and personal work. Wait, are you saying same as in you do a really good impression? Because we need that sending over ASAP. We need it. I'm not joking. Yeah, great smile. I like Tony Robbins. I like anyone that can get through to our lovely men, our kings of this earth. Because I know a lot of psychological talk can get a bit mamby-pamby, can get a bit like, oh, what's the point? My dad came and watched us do a live podcast and oh no, I'm probably dyslexic, fair enough. He came to watch the podcast, and one, he doesn't understand what YouTube is really. He's watched stuff on YouTube. He doesn't understand how you could broadcast something on it. And then at the same time, it was a private stream, so we were getting paid to do it by our members. And he was equally perplexed that someone was paying to watch us and to talk to us. And then at the same time, we're painting pottery pots, plant pots, therapeutically while we chat. And this was all just breaking my dad's 60-year-old mind. And a little bit of personal information. This is the second time I've seen him in years. We just started rekindling our relationship again, which is lovely. And it was nice for him to turn up. Hello, welcome back. It was really nice for him to turn up. It was kind of like, okay, I've got my dad back in my life. And then he wasn't going to stay the whole time, and he did for most of it, just like listening to this conversation. And towards the end, he was like, right, I'm going to go. And I ended up showing him out. And I said, what do you think? And he just you could see that his brain was just like, I don't know what I've just witnessed there. I can't wrap my head around it. And he said, I'm going to go and sit in my car now for a minute and have ever think. And he was just joking and it made me laugh. But I said, so what do you think about everything we were talking about? And jokingly he went, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about everything we were talking about, as if like, why do we have psychological help? Like, just don't worry about it. We were talking about too much. And I was laughing because he has a very funny, dry sense of humor and way he was putting it. Realistically, I understand that he knows there's a reason that we talk about these things. If people could just get over it, then we wouldn't need to. I'm not dyslexic. I'm just a scientific proved idiot. It's worse. How are you scientifically proved as an idiot? I don't agree. That's not such a thing. Dyslexia it's crushing as a kid. There's nothing worse. I remember being asked to read out at school. You're probably thinking of a birdie buttons, I'm sure. He's quite the golfer as well. But yeah, you're right. The dyslexia as a child, being asked to read in front of a class. It used to be, because your thing in life when you're a kid is you don't know anything outside of school, outside of these responsibilities. You know, you're not being asked to do anything else in life. You don't have any bills to pay. So your immediate life, like, that is the most anxiety provoking moment I could have thought of. Jesus reading out of school was my worst. Yeah, terrible. And not once did any of these teachers pick up on our terrible reading style, you know, our lack of pattern, our lack of being able to correctly say the right words, putting words in the wrong order. How was that not picked up back then for so many kids? And still to this day, you know, dyslexia, I will agree, has gotten a lot better. People can recognize it. It's a lot easier to recognize. But then we're understanding how much of it is just dyslexia on its own and how much of it is dyslexia that is born out of the inability to concentrate, the inability to focus, the energy that's going on in the ADHD brain. We see a lot of people who have ADHD also have dyslexia. Why is this? I think we need to look more into it. I don't know many people who just have one, you know? Shane was a big thing back in the 90s. Oh, Shane. Yeah, definitely. I feel like, I know a lot of people say, oh, the world's got too soft, but I think the world was very cruel. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason it developed from that, right? And it's because we got a ton of kids that were just down in the dumps, that are miserable, that are unwell, that aren't working now. You know, my generation, so many of us are either in pain, mentally unwell, suffer with addiction. It's a real hard one. And then you say, well, our parents had it even harder and they didn't suffer. Yeah, they did. They really did. They might reflect on their life being better and more simpler, and because they've got that nostalgic reasoning, right? That part of them that is biased about that type of life. It's hard. It's hard to say because, you know, in terms of economics, the world was a better place. How individually each person was treated kind of led to a bit of strangeness. Also, I think I've developed a toughness that kids don't have nowadays. Again, developing a toughness, where does that come into value for you? You know, because resilience, 100%, I think we could go a long way teaching children resilience. You know, understanding, okay, you have this diagnosis, you have this thing that stops you. That doesn't mean we have an excuse to not try at things, to not push ourselves, to not go for things. But having that also compassionate understanding that things are harder. So being more tough when you suffer with mental health issues isn't always going to help you. It can be a form of suppression every single day. Yeah, and again, that's quite a vague, broad thing, and I'm sure there is elements that you can see that you value. Culture gets very different, right? Do you remember we were talking about the Roman everywhere? I think you were here during the Roman Empire. It was brutal. So what their understanding of what being tough was different to your idea of being tough, and then the tough that your kids might show once they've developed their own self, their own people, when they've come into their adulthood. But yeah, it's that lesson, isn't it? Not to want the load to be lighter, but for our backs to be stronger. Ultimately, the world that we live in is harsh. It's cruel. And what can we do to strengthen these minds that are getting bulldozed, basically? And I think a lot of it would be, I mean, for me, the common things that I see in people that have ADHD, OCD, different types of medical disorders, mental health disorders, what separates them in their inability to have self-esteem, that resilience that we talk about, that really good confidence level, that comes from the parents. How are you addressing their life? Are you making them feel weird to start with before they've even got to school? Are they coming home, the language you use, are you saying, oh, come on, you're not tough enough these days? Because it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I know for me, I was told a lot that I was too sensitive. You're too sensitive, you won't get on in this world. You're way too sensitive, you're not going to get anywhere. And while I understand that there are aspects that can be negative, they're only negative in how we portray society. This idea of crying being weaker. Yeah, I feel like my being sensitive has been a benefit to me in many areas, although it has maybe crippled me in some. I don't think I could be the counsellor that I am without it. I don't think I could be the artist that I am without it. Being able to pick up on these small details, it's a point of sensitivity. And then realizing that this sensitivity isn't born out of me just being weak in this world. Understanding that I have autism, that things are overstimulating. Mentally, things are, the load is heavier. And certain things like sensitivities can really affect me. Something like too much music, something that's too loud. Like I'm sure we all recognize that thing where you're trying to reverse and you've got to turn the radio off or down because you can't hear. You can't see because you can't hear properly. I think deep down, you're a crypto bro that wants to push every day, single day, like Goggins. I don't even know what to say to that. Deep down, I'm me. I don't know how else to say it. I am like this when I turn the camera off. There is a difference. I don't stutter as much. Being aware of a camera messes with how I talk. But generally, my personality, how I am, how I act, that's me. I ain't got any money for crypto. And if I did, it wouldn't go on it. And I strongly recommend anyone listening also stays away from it. This is not financial advice, as they say. Do not come to me for financial advice. As well as dyslexia, I have dyscalculia. Half full or half empty? Always half full. I am a compassionate, positive brain. However, if you catch me on a time where I am triggered, where I haven't calmed myself down, I would be saying half empty. So yeah, very much perspective. But I subscribe to the ideology of half full. What about you? Are you a half full kind of guy, half empty? I love any kind of metaphor that involves a cup. I know that sounds really silly, but there's so many that are just so good. There's like physical things you can show by pouring water into like another glass, and I'm not describing this very well at all, but I'm telling you they exist. So believe me and buy my crypto. Always half full. I definitely have dyscalculia. Yeah, I give up with numbers. My brain doesn't work at all. Here is a perfect example. I had put something in the oven last night. I came into the living room and I said, how long will 20 minutes be? Like, how long will it be in 20 minutes? What time will it be? And he looked at the program we were watching, saw that it was 9 minutes in, and he said, in 20 minutes, it will be 39 minutes, whatever the thing was. That's what I mean. I can't even give you the example and make it up because my brain doesn't allow me. I'm actually 70% empty. KC, bless you. Welcome to the chat. Are we related? Quite possibly, Dwight. Quite possibly. But yeah, he said that it would be 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, it would be 39. And I was like, what? And then he picked up his phone and said, in 20 minutes, it will be 31. And changed the net. 31 what? My brain, I wanted to just jump out of the living room and be like, no dinner for you anymore. I cannot stand someone asking me to do mental maths, to understand, like, just give me the number. Just give me the answer. I hate asking someone, hey, what's 20% of this? And someone going, well, 20% to 4% is this. So if 10% is that, and then this is that, and you're like, are you asking me? I'm asking you. What's the answer? Like, if you don't know, I'll just get a calculator. I'm just trying to save time because generally the people around me can do maths. That's why I keep you there. But yeah, it just baffles me. Numbers, man. Yeah, there's no way that you are 70% empty, Casey. I don't believe it. You're one of the most positive people that comes along here. I was in USA on holiday when I was 14 and someone asked what the weather was like in the UK. I said I don't know because I'm not there. That's so funny. Okay, I was just like, I don't see the problem here. But you're saying I don't know because I'm not there. Are you autistic, Dwight? That was quite a literal understanding of a question. And how was your holiday in the US? Where did you go? I love these literal taking things. It's why you have to be very careful talking to anyone that you talk to. Some people take things literally. And certain sayings that we say that we don't really think about, idioms, make absolutely no sense to certain people, not to everyone. If you're like, what? They make sense to me. Don't worry, I'm not talking about yourself. I'm talking about, a lot of neurodivergent brains, but also a lot of neurotypicals. So I've had an itchy armpit for the last week. I don't know what that means. Is there a chakra in my armpit? Let me know. Let's ask Lindsay. I'm not by law, but probably am by law. That was just an interesting way of saying that, but I understand what you're saying. You relate to a lot of the terms, and that's why we do what we do. I think there's so many people walking about that have no idea what's necessarily happening in their brain. And something like autism, you can associate it to that kid that can't speak, that's chucking chairs, that is causing a nightmare for their mum. And while that can be quite an honest understanding of autism, it's not the whole spectrum. Spiky brain. I get spiky brain. I get itchy brain. Itchy brain and fizzy brain. I like spiky brain. It does, it hurts. Sometimes it's too, I get called difficult a lot. Not by your average human being, just the people that I'm quite close with. And I maintain that I'm not difficult, that I actually have a very specific set of rules that have remained them same rules the whole time that I've known these people. And if we just got on board with my rules, which don't impact anyone else, by the way, really. I'm not like, for me to be happy, you need to X, Y, Z. My boundaries are, when I do this, I like to do it this specific way. If you like to do it a different way and meet me at the end, meet me at another point. But for me to do this safely, happily, and not ruin anyone else's time, I'm going to need to do it my way. And yeah, I make it very clear. I'm not expecting you to do the difficult, specific thing with me if that's how you feel. But I think a lot of the times I wouldn't do that. I'd be masking. I'd be going along with it just for the sake of being liked, of not being fallen out with. And that can be really detrimental to the soul. So if we can help people understand from as early as they can that this might be what's going on, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need treatment, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need psychotherapy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to really seek any help for it, but just having that understanding of like, this whole time I thought I was a weirdo. Turns out you could be a weirdo, but also it's just autism. It's just that your brain works differently. And once you can understand how differently your brain works, then you can account for certain situations. What you need is golf. You know what? I went past a golf course yesterday and thought of you. I thought, it's so sunny today. Have you been making the most of golf? I still want to go to a driving range. But I wanted to ask you, can you hire clubs there? You know, like just a normal driving range? Or is that the most ridiculous thing to ask, let alone expect? If not, what is one club out Friday and Sunday? Of course you were. Of course you were. My other half was fishing Friday and Saturday, and was very kind to come back yesterday and spend the day with me. It was very nice. So I'm hoping that's what Saturday was for you, with your wife and family. Or you're just recovering from Friday so that you can get back out Sunday. Dad. Oh, Dad. What would we do without dads? Speaking of dads, we have mums as well. And isn't it Mother's Day on the 3rd of March? 30th of March. 3rd of March. You can borrow a driving range, yes, 7 iron. Okay. You say borrow. That doesn't even mean hire. Is that what you're saying? Or will it still cost me to? I'm intrigued. I kind of want to have a go. I remember my dad letting me have a go when I must have been about 9, 10. And he said, if you can hit the ball, I'll give you a tenner. And I didn't know what he meant because he'd always hit the ball. He's never done anything less. You just pull it back and swing, right? How hard can it be? I must have had about 12 attempts, and every time I looked down, the ball was still there. No, no, Kosh just has to borrow a 7 or a 9. I'm going to appreciate that little ditty there, that little bit of info. I'm going to try some golf range. And don't worry, I will record it. I will share it with you guys. How could I not, right? Throughout my whole time golfing, all I'm going to be thinking of is, would Dwight be proud? Just watch Pack. This one's for you, mate. Miss. But I would like to have a go. The idea of actually being on a golf course, walking up and around. Have to pay for balls. Yeah, I thought so. But that's fine. My thing was, I knew that I had to pay for the balls. And I knew that you could get them there. It's like a vending machine type thing, isn't it? I just wasn't sure about a club. And I'm like, do I have to go to Sports Direct and buy some club that I don't know? It's like starting a podcast all over again. I don't know the equipment I need, really. I kind of do now. Kind of do. But yeah, do you have any other tips for my swing? I know that for a putt, I'm good at putting. My grandfather clock technique. Tick. And then to bring it up, it's your arm, right? I don't know. Maybe I look ridiculous. Maybe, but I'll share it. We'll do it together. How well do you think you could teach me? Because again, I'm always content brained, looking for things that we could do. If you would like to teach me and Lindsay, we will happily drive down. Keep an eye on the ball and let the club do the work. Is that straight from the that book? Every shot counts. Is that straight out of there? That sounds like a line that's straight out of there. Do you recommend I read this book before having a go at the driving range? Would I blow people away? I would like to have a go. My biggest fear on a golf course is actually not being able to be as quick as other people. You know, if people get caught behind and then they're like getting annoyed that I'm taking too long. The book talks about always being present in the moment. I love that. See, real applicable advice. Unironically, I actually want to order this book. Is that not ridiculous? Actually, I don't think it was very expensive. 15 quid. Audiobook for £13. I might give that a go. You might have recommended me a book there. So you've recommended me a book. Now, I'm in a recommending mood. Go to a pitch and putt, not a serious course. Right, okay. There's a difference. See, I didn't know there was a difference. In my head, I was going to be turning up and it's like Trump's Mar-a-Lago. And I'm like, can I just like hit a few balls? But I see what, okay. Pitch and putt. Do we have any of these? Is that a specific term? Pitch and putt. Loughborough? Shelthorpe has a golf course. Does it? I know where there's a driving range. I definitely know that. Okay. Apparently there's plenty in my area. There's no reason not to go. Okay, book recommendation. Now, I want two more from you. I've got to see where this audience is at. A song recommendation and a film recommendation. Something that will tell me everything I need to know about you as a person and why this is something it doesn't have to be your favorite necessarily. If you're just like, okay, if you listen to this song and watch this film, you will understand how I think. You will understand my humor, what I like about something. I'm intrigued. I'm always wanting to know, because a lot of the times, I'll be honest, I hate someone telling me, oh, this was amazing, you should go and watch this. Generally, if I haven't asked for the information or asked for the advice, I don't want it. It's just that PDA, like, oh, don't give me a demand right now, especially if it's popular in the moment. Like I said, I watched Breaking Bad last year. Great, fantastic series. Couldn't have appreciated it any sooner than that, I'm afraid. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So yeah, any film, I'll put it in the chat as well. Film and song recommend. Can't spell. Recommendations that express who you are. Lose Yourself, Eminem. That is an interesting one. So that already gives me an idea of like your generation, right? I feel like I can kind of guess that you are between 32 and 45. I can see that you're definitely, must be, right? Must be. Build It and They Will Come or Multiplicity. I've not heard any of them. Build It and They Will Come. Sounds like an interesting title. And Multiplicity. 42, and I'm sure. A fantastic 42. I'm sure. I'm trying to think of anyone I know that's 42. My partner's 40 this year. How did it feel for you turning 40? Was it a similar thing to 30 where you just expect stuff to feel so different and you to feel instantly really old, and then you get to it and you're like, huh, doesn't actually feel that old? Or did you turn 40 and think, oh my God, give me my youth back? It instantly feels like I've aged 10 years. I'm always really interested in how people are with their age, because there's a lot of people that are like old souls, right? And they've just been waiting to be 42 their whole life. That was just the example age that I wanted to give. I'm not busting on 42. Turning 40 is boring. Is it really? It's see, I remember my mum's 40th birthday in the garden, and it blows my mind that my partner is reaching the age that, like, I was old enough to, I don't think I was old enough to drink. I think my parents let me. Two different realities there. But I remember the party in the back garden with the wigwam up. Yeah, it's just really strange. In my head then, she was like really old. But it's 33. I'm getting there myself. So add 20 more for you, Casey. What, you're 60? Have I understood that right? I'm not gonna lie, I've been getting many things wrong in the chat so far. So I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. In my head, if that is right though, what does turning 60 feel like? Is it less boring than 40? Was it a nice surprise? In my head, I'm Peter Pan, but then my knee hurts for all my years playing football. You're basically 40. It's how I feel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I am very similar. Peter Pan, like, mentally, I'm no older than an 18-year-old, but has just gone through some stuff, okay? Knee hurts relate to that so bad. I dislocated my knee in a nightclub when I was 17. And every time it starts to get cold, my knee knows about it. And I'm actually really worried doing this Tough Mudder. I can feel it, like I need to do some exercises that will strengthen the tendons and the muscles around it. So I know what you mean about you feel these physical ailments and instantly like, sit down. Wait a second. You're not a kid anymore. It is different turning 60. How different? Is it better? I'm 21 for life. I love that. Of legal age. I love how that's much better. Like, I'll be 21, please. I remember I was happy being 16. I was happy being 17. I couldn't wait to be 18. 19 was fine. And then as I was turning 20, I was like, oh no, next year's 21. And I could never relax from then about what year I was turning because of the fear of the year next, the year after that. So I couldn't enjoy turning 20 because I was fearing being 21. And that just seemed really... And 21 wasn't too bad because that's kind of that cool... I'm 21 now, like, officially. It seems like quite a nice milestone, you know, my 21st birthday. But then you're thinking of 27, 22, sorry, that whole time. I was just reading 27 there. 22 then was like, there's no ring to this birthday. Do you know what I mean? There's no balloons with 22 on, really. You've got to buy them individually. There's no cards with 22 on. In my head, I'm like, I'm not going to have another milestone birthday until I'm 30. Oh, 27 was peak. I agree. 27, 28, I could easily have lived those years forever. Once you get to the 50 mark, things start turning around for you and it goes backwards. That's what my mum says. She starts taking years off of her every birthday now. And I think that's a wonderful way of looking at it. I like, you know, you've made it to that halfway mark, just by 50 being middle of 100. You could live for way longer than that. But just getting to that and then being like, yeah, you know what? Back I go. I love that. Oh, also back is T.I. Patton. My fiance called me. My fiance. I love that. That's another word we got from you, is it? I believe. I hope your fiance is well. And as are you. But yeah. I need to stop doing but yeah. It's my new... I know what I needed to cover. I should have done this way before, earlier at the start. Another thing I should have said, like, subscribe, add us. Come back on Wednesday. We got an email. And I need to read it out today. I was supposed to read it out on Wednesday. But we weren't here. So, let's go. It reads, "Hi Steph, hello. My name is Chloe, and my colleague and I love to tune in to your podcast at lunch to escape the neurotypicals of the workplace." I love that. I love the idea of you like sharing an earbud each, just being like getting through lunchtime. If you're listening right now, hello. I hope the day's going well. Hope the Monday is going well. It's Ashley's birthday on the 11th of March, and I know she will smile if you wish her a happy birthday. Can you please send her a happy 24th birthday from me and tell her I can't wait to dance all Friday night with her? That's so sweet. I don't know if you do this or not, but thank you for being you on the internet and for offering your time to help people. Lots of love, Chloe. Chloe, that's so sweet, and I love it. I hope you're listening to it right now. If you're catching up at a later time, happy 24th to Ashley. That's such a... Don't we wish we were 24 again, folks? Don't we wish? Would you rather I didn't swear in chat? You can say whatever you want in chat, as long as it's not racist, derogatory necessarily. Yeah, swearing is fine. Swearing is expression. I think it's really, I'm not a free speech advocate, but I think swear words are a little bit of a silly thing to stop people doing. I understand that there's a time and place, but this place right here isn't a church. It's not a serious place necessarily. Obviously, if we're talking to someone and they're expressing something really deep, be mindful of what you're putting in the chat. But generally, no, swear away. Express yourself. Express yourself. I got caught up then. Happy 24th birthday. I knew that was going to happen. Happy 24th birthday to Ashley. That's such a sweet message as well. Like I said, I hope it's getting you through the day. And I love that there's people that's tuning in that I've never heard of you before, Chloe. Please enter the chat. I don't know if you're someone that has already spoken and you just have a different screen name. Hello. Thank you for messaging us. And it's already 2 minutes past 1. Your fiancée is back from the shops and now she's going to play on PC, so she's fine. I'm very tired at work. Oh, bless her. That's so sweet. So you're going to be looking after them, I'm sure. Oh, bless you. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for having me. We will be back on Wednesday. Again, sat here waiting to see if anybody has any questions for us, if anyone has any advice that they need. I'd be more than happy to help, along with these special people in the chat that are just ready and geared, waiting to help you as well. And Ashley, you're getting loads of love in the chat. So should we dedicate this episode to the lovely Chloe and Ashley? Bid them a happy day, happy Monday at work. And to the rest of you, thank you so much for joining us. Casey, it's lovely to have you all the way from Canada. It's great to have you, especially at this time. What time must it be there? Must be very early. That's it, guys. Yeah. Thank you very much. I shall turn the stream off and I'll be back on Wednesday. If you haven't seen the most recent podcast that we did, Lindsay was in the studio last Thursday. So the most recent live before this. It's a really good one. We need a daily pod. Do you think so? You really want me that much? I feel like I annoy you guys. I feel like I just bore you. I feel like I just sit here but maybe. It might mean that some of the pods are me just out trying to get from one place to another. But we'll work on it, 100%. It's nice to feel wanted, so thank you. And in the meantime, I will love you and leave you guys. So, big loves. Thank you very much. See you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.